Solid shapes. Three-dimensional shapes. Here are certain solid shapes with which you are familiar. A cube, a cone, a cuboid, a pyramid, a sphere, a square prism, a cylinder, a hemisphere. The first classification of solid shapes is to separate out those having curved surface, such as a sphere, a perfectly round ball, a hemisphere, a sphere cut in half, a cylinder like a pipe, and a cone, a joker cap. A solid shape which is entirely made of flat surfaces, also called plane surfaces, is called a polyhedron. Nets. A net is a pattern that can be cut out and folded to form a solid shape. This net is for a cube. Net for a dice. You have played several times with dice. Do you know that it is a cube with dots on each face? Opposite faces of a dice always have a total of 7 dots on them. Here are 2 nets to make a dice. Visualizing solid objects. Viewing different sections of a solid. An object which is 3D can be viewed in different ways. These are by cutting or slicing the object, by shadow play, by looking at it from different angles, by cutting or slicing the object. Here is a rectangular piece of cheese. It is like a cuboid with a square face. You slice it with a knife. When you give a vertical cut, you get several pieces as shown here. Each face of the piece is a square. We call this face a cross-section of the whole piece of the cheese. Beware, if you do not cut it vertically, you may get a different cross-section. By shadow play. If we keep a burning bulb just above the piece of cheese as shown, its shadow will be a rectangle. By looking at it from different angles, here are some solids. We view from front, top and side. Drawing an isometric sketch of a solid. A sample of an isometric dot paper is shown here. This paper has dots forming equilateral triangles. In isometric sketches, the measurements of edges agree with the solid. Let us now draw an isometric sketch of a rectangular prism of dimensions 4 into 3 into 3. Draw a rectangle to show the front face. Draw 4 parallel line segments of length 3 starting from the 4 corners of the rectangle. Connect the matching corners with appropriate line segments. This is an isometric sketch of the cuboid. Drawing an oblique sketch of a solid. Here is a picture of a rectangular prism or a cuboid. It gives you an idea of how a cuboid looks like. Here you are not able to see its all faces, edges and vertices. Even in this drawing, the lengths of the opposite edges are not equal. Still, you are able to recognize it as a cuboid. Such a sketch of solid is called an oblique sketch. Let us take a squared paper and try to make a cube of dimensions 2 cm by 2 cm by 2 cm. Draw the front face. Draw the opposite face. Sizes of the faces have to be the same. Join the corresponding corners. Redraw using dotted lines for hidden edges and faces.